Jacobson, Artsy Fartsy Life. Today I'm going to show you how to add words to your art journals or mixed media without making mistakes. I want to show you my special fancy setup for making words like this so that I don't mess them up. I want to show you my setup with how I do it. So this is just a piece of cardstock that you can tell I've written on an awful lot. I've got another one here in case it like literally falls apart. And I use the cheapest tissue paper you can buy on the internet for packaging because I like the way it doesn't actually melt. So it really does show up in my journals. All right, and so what I do with this is I have this as in the back. I put my extra pieces that I haven't been using yet, and then the piece that I'm going to be working on, right? And so I'm going to tap them all down sort of to the back, and then I hook them in here. And for this, I use a Sharpie permanent marker ultra fine point. So that is the size. And so what I'll do is I'll write, and I want to keep a little bit of space between the lines, and I also want to space them out how I'm going to do them. So if I was going to write, you miss, and then say I wanted it to be big, so I could even use a larger pen, but I want to make sure I keep enough space between it so that I can cut those out. And I'll show you how I'm going to cut those out. Right? And then I would just, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? And I could cut that out easily. And I like to cut mine in squares. I like to even have a little bit of weight around them because I use it as a decorative element in my art journals, but you might want to try to cut them closer. But that is a way for me to use my handwriting. So say I messed up, you don't. I always cross it out so I know that that's not a good one. And maybe I want it on 2 lines. Maybe I was like, oh, I hate how that looks. So the thing about this is, and I don't want you to get all perfectionistic, but I will tell you that don't looks better to me than that don't. Now, you may think in your head that don't looks better than that don't, but it's me as the artist that has to be willing to live with my artwork. So if you wanted to, you could just keep of the shots. Say you don't like of the shots, just write it again. Of the shots. And I promise you what will happen is as you that's why I hook it on here, where it has some structure. As an artist, you're going to get better at writing so that you don't have to be so nervous. But I still don't want to do this kind of writing that's going to be very prominent directly in my art journal. I would rather do it on pieces of tissue paper that I can manage and take care of myself. Now I want to show you how to make words. I'm going to do a ton of writing on my journal, but there are quotes I want to make that I don't want to mess up, right? So I want to make sure I have the right amount of space. I want to make sure I can get them in there. This is going to show you why I like doing it this way. I had thought that I would like them down here, but now that I see how long this quote actually is, I'm probably going to put it across here. And had I written it, now I would have to like do all kinds of things. And this way I just move the pieces there. So that's a whole quote. We know it's Amelia Earhart. I'll probably write it with my pen over here. Okay. Boop. Okay. Now we have to cut off tenacity. And for me, tenacity is the big word. Because I am tenacious. If I'm nothing else, I am tenacious. Okay. There you go. So The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. And you could put this on however you want. I think I'm going to put it on like that. It's going to be close. We're going to take some Mod Podge. My Mod Podge is always glued to the top. And then just any old brush. We'll use this brush. And you're going to go along here. You want to get a good bit of Mod Podge on here because you want it to kind of melt the tissue paper so you can see the design underneath. And you'll tell I'm not super worried how this looks. If you're a perfectionist, you can make it perfect. I have lots of words to put in my journal, and I don't have all day, so I don't get myself all twisted about putting things in. Uh-oh, there we go. All right, we need more Mod Podge on that one. You can see it's not melting, right? So we got to get more Mod Podge on there. And then we got to get our special tenacity word down here. Tenacity, yay, tenacity. Okay, so that is that. I will, of course, come back and show you the words in there, but this is, I wanted to show you from one I did the other day. See how you can kind of see the grunge and the texture underneath there, and then I outline it. I use the Sharpie Permanent Marker Ultra Fine. It has a point like that. And that's it. That is a super easy way to be able to put text in your journal so that you know. So like I wrote this on here. I don't mind that that's on here. But if I'm going to do a quote or something important, I like to do it on the tissue paper. It stands out, and I can also move it around if I mess up. So, Terry Jacobson, Artsy Fartsy Life.